Okay, the context for this is that I have very vivid dreams, and tonight, or I just woke up from a dream about Half-Life 2. I had dreamed that basically Valve doubled down on their physics engine for the Half-Life franchise, and this time in a way that I was very excited for a few years ago. Again, this is all just a dream, but let me dream, damn it. I had a dream that I was playing Half-Life 2 on the 360. Obviously, definitely not feasible on the 360, but you were at a chapter kind of like this. You're taking a right turn, and you pass under this little bridge right here, and you basically are blocked by one of these. And the innovation that I thought that Valve had brought to the table for Half-Life 3 or Half-Life 2, Episode 2, Episode 1, or whatever, was procedurally animated, like deep neural network kind of monsters. Now, this has been toyed around with a lot in gaming, but it's never been done with neural networks like quite to the degree that like GTA 4 did with the Euphoria system, which is just basically like a soft neural network. This would be like a constantly running neural network simulation. So you're blocked by this thing, which has the same kind of role in Half-Life 3 as it does the chopper in Half-Life 2, where you're harassed by it, harassed by it, harassed by it, and then you have to escape for a while, and then you come back, and then you kill it eventually, right? And now these chunks are not so blocky. This is kind of the closest I could get to Bing's effort creator, but it would take a lot more design cues from the helicopter, and each segment would kind of have that kind of cockpit shape, if that makes sense, where it's like a narrow trapezoid at the bottom with a larger trapezoid at the top. It'd be like constantly curling, constantly moving. Spoilers. And then you go into a cave, and you encounter this thing, and just kind of draw the layout of the cave. Womp, 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 and then brushes. Let's turn that to gray. Womp, womp. You get a little exit sign right here. Right, kind of baiting the player, into believing that they have to go right here. It's like a little cave. It's like a little platform sticking out of the bottom of the cave. Hello. And then gray. You know. It's like I got a little warning label, like don't fall off, dummy. And then to the right of it is two things. You have the there's a very, in my mind, very classic source engine design cues. So there's an open section where you think you're supposed to launch off from, but instead this is where you encounter the monster, the cybernetic thing, I'm calling it. So this is all chain link fence. We'll just... Nope, never mind. Yeah. We kind of symbolize it with that. Instead of walls, it's just regular chain link fence. And then there's like a supply depot, so there's like shelving. And supplies, kind of think Entropy 01 in that very first mission where there's a rebel hideout or whatever. And the way that the level is designed is to bait you into like kind of making a run for it, and then somehow like hitting an angle, right? Like air strafing and hitting that, but it's just not gonna happen. And then, by the way, these gray circles are literal like locks, displacements. If you're familiar with the source engine, but basically these are like concrete installations embedded into a cave. There's lots of that in the episodes, especially. I believe episode 1. Where is my mouse? Well, I can kind of see it. There we go. But instead of air strafing, you encounter this. AI kind of hit it right on the head with this one. This is exactly the kind of thing where it's the mask with the eyes out and it's just black behind it, and it is the like neural network Terminator, and we're like agile Terminator, which is MSP. There is my mouse. Okay. And I think this would be a reveal for like if Half-Life 2 zombies started being piloted by the Combine or something. Like they just like entrap Half-Life 2 zombies, and then they take control of the head crab, where they synthesize their own kind of head crab and then take over the zombies. And these upgraded zombies have that same ability as well, of the black cybernetic thing, which is like agile. And it's basically this on a large scale. Right, where they can recover, they can run. Obviously, this is 6 years ago. But, like, they have that ability to, like, do all this stuff. This is, like, a low energy kind of, like, like a parkour is just not, like, full-blown sprinting, whereas this thing would be full-blown sprinting and, like, super jumping. If you ever played around with Half-Life 2's nav meshes, you'll know that a great way to get some really goofy results is to have like a low level and then a very high level, and then have a connection, one way connection, up or down. And Half-Life 2 nav mesh navigation doesn't actually check the height. At least last time I tried, which was somewhere in 2016. So they might have fixed it with the 20th year anniversary update, but they'll just jump it. They'll just jump way up. You'd be like, oh shit, you know, that looks goofy. Entropy Zero did that to great effect by making all the rebels have these jumpsuits. And it's in Entropy Zero 2. So they could do that kind of like super jump stuff without being like too goofy. But yeah, that was my that's the extent of the dream that really matters. Is there we go. Is that there was this piece of level, and what you were actually supposed to do is go the other way. There's like a little ledge you're supposed to follow. And then here is where you'd find the, let's say, just like, you know, because this is kind of the Combine's colors. Right. 2 a very light gray to signify white shirt. No. Big ol' blue zombie Combine who has these new kind of like neural network-esque physical abilities to a much lesser extent. They're kind of they might be the training, but I remember these guys as like mildly terrifying. Like they could like crawl through like tiny spaces, then pop back up. They could like navigate very thin much narrower than expected gaps. Like imagine this is like another shelf or something. They could like squeeze themselves through and pop out the other side. You know, they're trying to get you. And then this thing, there it is. It is just outright like terrifying you, and, like super chasing you. It's a you think that the snake is the you know, like this is like this head is like helicopter sized and like it's like crawling all over the map. You think this is the threat? No, this is the threat. In typical Dark Souls 2 fashion, where it's like the enemy, the big heavy enemy, you think typically communicates that it's gonna kill you. Nah, it's like the humanoid. Let's remember these being like slightly bigger than the player, like, you know, 7 foot. I think just like larger than normal. So, but yeah, that was my dream.